Hi guys, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and I've got a wee knife for you today. This is the 712A. It comes in 3 different handle colors and 2 different blade colors. You can get it in satin or this black coating, so that's 6 different variants for this knife. It's a very, very comfortable knife in hand. I really, really enjoy this one an awful lot. It's got a little bit of a recurve here, loads of belly, drop point blade. This is Bachelor M390 stainless steel. We've got ceramic ball bearings. Nice back spacer, goes way along there, really nice. It's got the wee logo as the pattern for the grip, and the grip is very good. It's perfect amount of texture, I think, for this knife. Not overly grippy and, not underly grippy, if that's a word. Nice jimping on the flipper arm here that adds as a really good finger guard when you're using the knife. My hands are large, bordering on extra large. If I really sneak up, I've got lots of room for another finger there. So people with extra large hands would love this. People with medium hands that want a big knife, you're still going to find this comfortable. Talking about men with medium hands. Female medium might be, your hands might be too small for this knife. Everything's titanium except for the blade and the ceramic ball bearings and the cage for the ball bearings. That looks like it's bronze. And except for the stopper, the blade, the interface for the lock bar insert, which is also the over travel stop. And that over travel stop is backed up also by this pocket clip. The pocket clip kind of goes over as well. I'm calling it sort of a bone-shaped handle, if you ask me. It's super comfortable in hand for just about any grip that you want to hold it in. Just loads of different grips. No forward trolley. Don't do this. You're going to cut your finger. Really fine jimping on here. Just a dozen and one different little niceties to it. So like I said, all titanium all over the place. And that pocket clip is done supremely well. I really like that an awful lot. It's around $253 US at Blade HQ, and you might be able to find it in some other places as well. And if I find some links, I'll put them in the description below so that you can get this. It comes in black and white as well. That's one of the color codes that I really, color combinations that I really like. If you're not into like this purple and blue kind of look, this lavender kind of, look or whatever you have, you can get it in other ways too. And I really like how that black and white looks. I'll show you a picture of that right here. It doesn't take an awful lot. You don't have to push hard. You can do, the push button. You can do a light switch. There you go. No extra effort needed. It just works. My left hand sometimes does weird things when I'm trying to do that kind of stuff. It feels really good in hand. If you're interested at all in this knife, then stick around for the full review. Let's take a good look at this before we talk too much about the knife. There you go. You can see the jimping on the flipper right there. They've even got a nice little spacer put in here on either side. And that's really good for your thumb to rest in there. It helps give it a little more comfort and purchase. And then if you want to move your thumb forward a little bit more, you've got some really fine jimping there. Let's see if it'll focus on that. There you go. You can see the jimping right along the back of the blade, the spine right there. Nice fine jimping. It's always hard to show on a black knife the details of it. We've got a nice swedge along the top of the blade right there, and hopefully that'll show up here. If I move the knife around, there we go. You can see that swedge across the top spine of the blade. Nice drop point blade, nice point here. Almost a spear point kind of style. The grinding on the cutting edge is done equally all along. Very well done. Just a mild recurve there. Nice sharpness choil, done very well. One thing that I really like is take a look at this side. This is the working side. Where's the cutout for the frame lock arm? Most knives have it on the outside. I really like it when they put it on the inside. I know some people are going to say, oh, but now it's substantially weaker. I don't buy that. Weaker? Yes. Technically, it's a weaker lock because it's milled out here. But my question is, how much weaker? I'm saying it's a very minimal amount, a very minor degree of extra weakness for having a cutout on this side as compared to the other side. It's a more direct line if it's cut out on the outside from there to where it interfaces with the blade. Yes, but the amount of torque that you get, side-to-side torque, to weaken this spot on the handle, that lock bar, from it being there to there, is super minimal. That's, you know, you can't get much closer than a straight line there. Of course, it's not a straight line. It is on an angle, but it's not significant at all. So there is a technical argument to be made for greater strength when it's cut out on the outside. But I think it's by such a small degree that it's not a problem at all. Nothing to consider as a problem in here. I like this little bit of jimping that they put on this, on the side of the lock bar right there. I'll give you a close-up of that. That's to help your thumb get purchased when you want to disengage the frame lock. They've got a nice lock bar insert, and I'll show you the other side of it right now. It's like a puzzle piece that they made, so it fits in there perfectly. So they only need one screw to hold it in place because the rest of the shape keeps it from pivoting at all, from moving it anyway. And it functions as an over travel because it comes down and interfaces with this side of the handle scale right there, so you can't push it past. Titanium pocket clip. And that's a milled out custom pocket clip just for this knife. And it's done very, very well. And it works great with a pair of pants. Zelrick started doing this a while ago, and I started doing this a while ago. I think he did it first, but I didn't notice that he did it, so I'm not copying him. I think we just both have a good idea around the same time. Well, I think he had it first, but there you go. It fits in the pocket very well. And this purple one looks really good in these blue jeans. You've got about a centimeter, you know, a little less than half of an inch sticking out there in just this narrow pocket clip right there. That's the only spot that says WE Knives. That's the only branding you have on the knife. And I mentioned it on the Sea Monster that I really like it that WE does not do over branding. And right there is where you've got the M390 for the steel type, and that's the full extent of the writing on this knife. That's their WE logo right there on the pivot cap. That's titanium as well. Titanium hardware. These screws are titanium custom-made screws, and they're made very well. This set isn't as good as the Sea Monster set. They're showing a little bit of wear on there. I don't know if somebody took this apart before I got it or not, but I'll show you a close-up of this screw. It's not perfect, like the Sea Monster screws were. Some of these other screws are a little bit better, but a little bit of wear on there already. I don't mind this WE logo. In fact, I like it an awful lot all over the side of the handle here. Some people don't like that. Some people love it. I don't love it, but I like it. It's good, and it really gives a good amount of grip. Let's talk about the dimensions, and we'll move on from there. Cutting edge, 9.32 centimeters, which is 3.67 inches. The blade length is 9.03 centimeters, which is 3.55 inches. Obviously, with the handle coming out further, it's shorter there than it is here. The blade thickness is 3.91 millimeters, which is 0.1535 inches, just under 4 millimeters. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, and I measure it about an inch from the sharpener's choil down this way. That's where I usually measure. It is 0.67 millimeters, which is 0.026 inches. Again, the WE knives are a little bit thicker behind the grind than I prefer. Not bad. M390 could easily stand by being 0.4 of a millimeter thick, because the strength of the M390, should be enough to handle a really nice thin edge. Full flat grind, and I think that could easily handle having a nice thin cutting edge right there, and that would make it a supreme slicer. Right now, it's a great slicer, but it could be supreme. You've got, I was doing measurements. I'm a little distracted today. Handle length, 12.9 centimeters, 5 inches. Grip space length here is 10.17 centimeters. That's about 4 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 0.136 centimeters, which is just over half of an inch, 0.53. The total length of this knife, 21.9 centimeters, 8.6 inches. It weighs 140 grams, 4.9 ounces. I am so thankful. I'll show you the skeletonizing of the inside of this handle. Take a look at that right now. That's why it only weighs just under 5 ounces. It would have been a little over 5 ounces if they hadn't cut that out. So they did a really good job with that to get under that magic number of 5 ounces, which is a number that a lot of people have in their mind that they want to be under. How much does it cost? I mentioned already, Blade HQ has it for $253.30 US. Fit and finish. I think it's excellent. The only points off are these screws. It's so sad that they were just a little bit damaged before I got them. I took pictures of them before I did anything on it, and I saw that little bit of damage in the close-up pictures with my USB microscope. My channel, I am such a low-budget channel. I live on a disability pension. I don't have money to buy a knife like this. Thank you very much to Zell for sending these out so that we can review these. And he was so gracious to me. He said that I could take this apart and show you the inside. So thank you so much, Zell. From the channel Zelrick, and I'll give you a link to his channel in the description below, and I'll put a link to his channel up here if I can. So what do I think about this thing? Unique features, really nice pocket clip, really nice insert here for a steel insert for the lockup. I really like that they've got titanium hardware everywhere. Like the ceramic ball bearings, that's a really good thing. Detent is very good. You can just hear it suck the blade in, and that's just horizontal like this. That's great. Can I knock this knife open just with a flick of the wrist? There we go. I flicked the wrist and it opened up. I know you can't really see that. So I could make it fail the centrifugal test that the Canadian Border Services Agency does. It's really an inertia test, which they think is centrifugal, which they don't understand physics very well, but that's okay. Most CBSA agents are basically just grade 12 graduates who then take a 9-week course or whatever it is, a quarter of a year, a third of a year. Short course to become a CBSA agent. Doesn't take much. I shouldn't be making fun of them, but it's the higher ups that tell them that that is centrifugal. So those guys should be having, master's degrees and stuff. The guys that head up the organization, doctorates and stuff. I'll get off that case right now. CBSA makes me sick. Going on about this knife. Very, very cool lanyard hole right here. So it's not really a hole. Check that out. The lanyard attachment spot. We've seen this on other knives, something like this. It's got a nice anodized pin right there, and then you just put the lanyard through that opening and weave it through and tie it on, so you don't have to have a hole here, and yet it's perfectly placed for your lanyard right at the end. Really like that an awful lot. That's a really nice touch that sort of brings this over the top. I do like that they kept the back here just simple. This back spacer, there's already enough busyness here that I'm thankful that they didn't do anything back here. Instead, they just made it nice and plain and simple. You've got the hourglass shape on this pin for the lanyard, and that's all that it needs back here. Well, it's got this nice little stuff milled away for your thumb to sit in. Perfect. Really, really well done. Already showing you how good the pocket clip is. I really like the blade shape. Let's see, did I miss anything that I wanted to talk about? I prefer satin blade over the coating, but they provide it both ways, so that's a total non-issue. You can buy it with or without the coating. I covered all the details that I wanted to cover on this knife. I like this thing. Let's do some cut tests. This is 9-strand paracord. Cut through quite easily. This 9-strand paracord is quite strong stuff, and it's cutting through with relative ease. Just a great slicing knife. And you can just go straight down and cut. Ooh, made that guy throw up a little bit. Ooh, pukey, pukey, Mr. Mukey. And it's just you can make confetti all day long. And it just cuts really, really well. All the way from the tip, cuts right through, all the way down the handle a little ways, or down the blade a little ways. That's how the knife looks on a flat surface. The flipper arm gets in the way, and then, you know, right at the peak of that belly, the rest of that all touches. So it's a decent knife for cutting on a flat surface if you need to. How well does it cut paper? I think it cuts very well. Since it is a knife that I've borrowed, I don't get to sharpen it, but I'm sure this M390 will sharpen up beautifully on my TS Prof K02 sharpening system. Really love this big full flat grind. This is a very nice knife. It feels really good in the hand, all different kinds of ways of holding it. Don't sneak up trail that way. Pinch grip up here. Put your 3 fingers back here to do some of that kind of cutting. Really good in the hand. You can grab way back here if you need some extended reach. I like to wrap my pinky back here, get a really good hold of it, and now you've got lots of extra reach. The texture on here really helps you get that extra grip, even though you're further back. If there's a bit of a lanyard, that can be excellent. So over 8.5 inches, and then you get like a 10-inch kind of knife because of the way you can grip it. And the jimping is just perfect everywhere that they've put it. I really wish I could afford this knife. I would get the black and white version with the satin blade. Oh, sorry about whistling. Those of you who had headphones on, that probably hurt. Sorry about that, guys. I really, really like this knife. All the little things that they did, like this cutout from the frame lock, just everything that they did to make it look really, really good. It looks plain. It looks sort of plain Jane-ish from a distance. And then you zoom up and it just looks awesome. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up. Give me a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. What do you think of this knife? If you don't like the knife, please still give me a thumbs up for the video itself. I appreciate that. I love this thing. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this with your friends, neighbors, pals. Remember, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb.